everybody, one of Weezum here. It is Back to the Future Day, October 21st, 2015, and if Marty McFly were here right now, he would be amazed by this. Not because it's a legendary, not because it's got Wolfgang in the Sky Race Action Pack, not because of the vehicle, but rather that it arrived from Toys R Us, where we used the free shipping option. That would be the most amazing thing. Not the toys to life, not seeing this little guy get placed onto a portal of power like you see at the back and appear on a TV screen. It would be that this made it here in time for them to see it. Because again, for the second time, we used Toys R Us as free shipping. And somehow it arrived. And it was painfully slow. Literally, I think we could figure out how to break the time-space continuum, go back to 1985, stick this in the backseat of the DeLorean, and still get it before Toys R Us would get it to us from Ohio. So there's something wrong in that equation, and it's not my scenario. It would be Toys R Us's side. So why did I buy this after they took an eternity to ship us the starter packs, the Wii and 3DS? I had to. They had the sweet promotion going where if you buy this race action pack, you can get a supercharger or a vehicle for $5. Now, for me, that was a pretty good deal. A lot of people were like, oh, they should have done 40% off, and I could have gotten, the Sea Race action pack. Well, I needed this Shark Tank. It wasn't sent out, and I couldn't find it in anything aside from the double pack and the triple. And you know what else would disappoint Doc and Marty McFly? That we're in 30 years' time, batteries still suck. They just died again. So that said, as I film this, we've got a thunderstorm going on outside. That's why we're not in-game doing some cool upgrades and stuff there. But again, for me, I needed this, and it was $5. And my local store, I guess because, again, they rely on the same trucks to transport things from Ohio that we do. They never got these. Not on Sunday when it was supposed to be out, not on Tuesday or whenever I ran my errands, not on Thursday when I swung by, not Friday. They didn't come. And so the sale's gonna go away, so I literally had to buy it online because ultimately I saved money by getting this for $5 instead of $17. I don't know. I'm about convinced that that extra dollar Toys R Us charges over every other retailer in the world is so they can attempt to try and figure out how to ship things. But it's amazing. I could literally go there, be hired on as some little shipping executive, and I could introduce them to UPS Ground, and it would just revolutionize the process. You could even take an extra day or two to process the order, because we know how difficult it is to throw stuff in a box and put a label on it with no packing. So, nonetheless, the main thing, this is here. Has my local store gotten these? I would think that they probably got it about the same time I did. So, the good thing, I guess, on our front, we saved money on the vehicle, and that means we've got a second Shark Tank. That's very important for reasons you will understand at a later date and time. Even though it's Back to the Future Day, I can't tell you what that is just yet. However, right here, very cool, we've got the Legendary Sunrunner. If I'm not mistaken, this is the only legendary vehicle, and at least it makes sense because it's paired with its signature driver. So that's a cool deal. If we did the Legendary Sky Slicer, awkward because we don't have a Legendary Stormblade. We've got Legendary Hurricane Jetvac, but we don't have a Legendary Jetstream type of deal. So this is a very cool setup because it matches, and that's appreciated by the vast majority of people in the world, I think, or at least that watch this channel. But what this consists of is Legendary Astroblast, the Sky Trophy, which, if you recall back to our Sea Race Action Pack, which is on the portal somewhere over there, it had the Golden Queen. This has Wolfgang. You can kind of see that as we get closer to it. Pretty well done, I would have to say. It's got some clouds I'm looking forward to checking out. And then, of course, the Legendary Sunrunner. We've got somewhere, is it like chapter... I don't know, maybe chapter 4? Don't hold me to that, 3, 4. Somewhere in there, there's like a little area where light vehicles are stronger here, and we haven't had one, so now we will. But what did this thing cost? Like $35.99 or $30? I don't even know. Well, it's somewhere up there. It's pretty crazy money, but again, You get a supercharger, a vehicle, and the trophy, which of course, if you did not know, unlocks new tracks, and it gives you the ability to race against the bosses, eventually defeating them, and doing that, racing as Wolfgang on his custom vehicle, which is pretty sweet. So, I think we've covered everything here, and attempted to provide some insights as to why it's taking us so long to get this. But again, included Legendary Astroblast, Legendary Sunrunner, light element. You want to keep that in mind, not dark, light element. So right there, the sky trophy, and again, that is a sky vehicle. So right here, that makes sense, right? Sky Race Action Pack. So you place the trophy onto the portal, and of course you unlock the additional bonus content. I hope that's a stage, because that looks pretty cool. What was that called? The Future of Skylands? This is a great day to unbox this after all, because if you recall back to Trap Team, Wolfgang, was in the Future of Skylands, and very, very interesting looking track there. So, open epic new racetracks and race against super boss villains like Wolfgang, the world's greatest villain. Epic new sky racetracks. That looks pretty cool, kind of Tower of Time-ish, if you will. Battle villains and championship tournaments. That is Chef Pepperjack, I believe, there. Here is the Man of the Hour, defeat and races villains, including Wolfgang. And right here, challenging mirror race mode, race against your friends. So, is that the jet stream going at it? I believe so. Pretty cool stuff. Now, right here, shameless self-promotion, but for regular, which we don't have access to just yet, Astroblast, the Sunrunner, and then, of course, the supercharged Sunrunner. So, also featured, you can get Deep Dive, Gill Grunt, Reef Ripper, and the Sea Trophy, which, again, that's the Golden Queen there. But let's go ahead and get this thing opened up. Alright. Last night I had the same thing with these storms, and it came on. It was kind of, a little bit of light and a little bit of rain, and then right as we were about done with the episode 1 of our Minecraft we were recording, just really bad lightning. And the power goes out here a lot, and that's not good when you're recording. So, what is the deal with this thing? Alright, there we go. We got it out, and you know what we're going to do with that? Throw it over there. Traveled at twice the speed of Toys R Us shipping. Let's slide this down. We've got our sticker sheets here. We'll take a look at in just a second. Now, if you want to cut these out, as always, do that before you break this back. I could care less about it. We're going to bend this back. Note that we were able to free the figures on all fronts. And now what we want to do is come in and grab these guys. So we will start with Astroblast. A shame the Astros and Rangers didn't make it to the ALCS. Then unboxing Astroblast would have been really cool. So again, work the plastic, not the toy, when possible. And this is one of those scenarios where it's very difficult. He's quite heavy. He's also difficult to hold. But we will set him down for now. Now we want to take... Oh yeah, I had to look at that thing. That's pretty sweet. We'll set it down. I brought in some characters, and yet I forgot the Sea Trophy over there. Ironically, the thing that I thought would be the most difficult to come out came out the easiest. So, once again, we're on our way back to Ohio. Alright, so there's the Legendary Sunrunner. Let's pair that, just so you know. Legendary Sunrunner, this is your sticker sheet. The name tag and the sticker are separate. No QR code, nothing anymore. So we'll set that down right here. We've got the sticker sheet for Legendary Astroblast, Light Element Supercharger. Again, you can put that on your collection posters, stickers, storage boxes, folders, notebooks, siblings, pets, whatever. And you can actually, if you wanted to, you could cut this out, and I think it would have adhesive behind it. If not, you could tape it, glue it, whatever floats your boat. Me personally, I stick these in a binder where it's just sad not seeing the stat card that we've all come to know and love. So, power 200, armor 175, agility 165, luck 260. I believe Ethan is the one who was telling me that he thought I'd really like Astroblast. Said he was a little on the slow side, but everything else seemed to make up for it. So let's come in here and take a look at Astroblast background story, shall we? So I'll be spinning him around for your enjoyment. I have to say, it's kind of strange having a light element character as a legendary because they look dark. I guess the gold kind of offsets it a bit. It actually looks pretty cool. But if you compare it to like Astroblast there, you know, pretty stark difference. I think I will prefer the standard figure, but I can't say for certain because we've not seen it. So, ready, set, glow, that is his slogan. Again, his vehicle is the Sunrunner. And the thunder rolls. Alright, so I hope you heard that, otherwise that was totally random. So starting stats, max health 180, that is undeadly. Speed 35, armor 18, critical hit 6, so nothing really earth-shattering there. But I have faith in this guy. I'm anticipated him for quite some time. It looks like he'd be pretty cool. So, speaking of cool, let's check out that background story. While on a secret mission in Troll territory, Astroblast crash-landed on a remote island where he stumbled upon an ancient relic not seen in thousands of years, a legendary rift engine. Yeah, the thing right there. These magical machines were believed to have the power to travel through the portals between Skylands and other worlds. In other words, there's a flux capacitor inside, right? Something along those lines. Shortly after the discovery, an army of trolls appeared on a nearby canyon ridge and quickly charged toward Astroblast. Knowing that the rift engine would be very dangerous in the wrong hands, he pulled out his pulse laser. We're going to do this all video, apparently. He pulled out his pulse laser and prepared to defend the relic against the incoming horde. After an epic shootout, the trolls fled in defeat. When Astroblast then brought the relic back to his ship, the Sunrunner, it surged with power, and a hologram of Master Eon appeared. Eon thanked him for saving the rift engine and beckoned him to return it to the Skylander Academy. Astroblast accepted the invitation and was made a Skylander shortly thereafter. So that is actually a very cool story because it ties in perfectly with SuperChargers. It might not make sense in other places or in the future, but right now it makes perfect sense, and we finally have closure. We know exactly how this happened. The guy crash lands, he finds this rift engine, he's like, oh, I've heard of that. You know, it's kind of like somebody finds a Hemi in a junkyard or something, right? And so he's like, man, I got to take this thing home. It's awesome. And it's $1, you know, or free. And then there's all these trolls that come and you have to shoot them down like buyers on eBay or something. And you get it, and then you've got that wise old man that's like, that's a pretty awesome engine you've got, son. And it's like, you should be part of my team. And so he became a car chaser. But that's it. That is his story. And again, it ties in beautifully with Skylanders SuperChargers. So you got the Academy, you got the hologram of Eon, you've got the Rift Engine. And that said, this is a great place to start because this is, of course, the Rift Engine. You got the Light Element logo here on the timing cover. You've got one foot sort of planted on the corner. No, it's not planted. It's in the air. It sort of rests on the valve cover. Back here, it's sort of like some sort of a, I could see him sliding into this pose type of a deal, or maybe he's building up speed and then he slides by shooting as he goes. I don't know. Looks pretty cool. Now, something I noticed when we were playing around, I saw that Light Element logo there, the sun, if you will. That's a really cool touch, in my opinion. There is tread on his feet, which ironically, I believe, matches the patterns on that valve cover there. And you can see here they actually kind of extended the valve cover to match his feet, it would seem. That's something you only see on this channel, right? So the valve cover should technically stop right here. You've got the 3 fins, right? And it should just stop there. But instead, here at the back, they've kind of extended it 3 more fins. And you think, it's just the bottom of his shoe. This one doesn't have gold on the bottom, and if you spin it around, and we can get it to focus, you can clearly see that's not part of the shoe. They kind of designed it as part of the valve cover, so kind of a conflict of interest there, but a very neat little oddity we can pick up on. Now, Astroblast himself actually looks pretty cool. I don't know how well you see it, but again, this is translucent. It's sort of like that smoky blue color. We sort of saw a few things like this in some of the Trapmaster figures, but that gun looks killer. Very futuristic. I'm excited to see it in game. Coming around up here on his head, it's sort of like a smolder dash effect. It's probably the closest thing to it. He's light element, but again, I feel like in this legendary, he's kind of got like a sinister vibe to him. But again, the gold sort of offsets it, lets you know what's up. Note this tubing here. Not quite sure what that's going to be. I guess it has something to do with a pulsar, or maybe it's crystal powered or something along those lines. But this right here, kind of a prism break effect, sort of like a lotus flower or geode type of a deal. So pretty cool deal there. On the shoulder pads, Can't be certain, but that looks like it might supposed to be a Light Element logo. I don't know that it is. It doesn't have any extra detail, but we'll assume it was and kind of run with that. Here he's got his ridiculously gold watch. But it's probably a pretty sweet watch in the future, so it totally makes up for it. Coming around, same thing over here. It's kind of got pads here on both elbows. You don't see them really well. This one sort of has like some sort of a design on it. And then this one's just kind of more like a traditional pad, like 2 areas of padding. So kind of, again, a nice little conflict there we can speculate on. Gold cufflings there. He sort of got his, I guess, spine back, or maybe that's a flak jacket. I honestly don't know. We really need to just introduce this guy and kind of get a feel for his upgrades and whatnot. Down here on the bottom, you've got that same translucent stuff. There's a bit of metallic in it here. I think you can see it fairly well there. It's hard to describe, but it looks really cool in person. Right here, Light Element logo, and that, of course, is Legendary Astroblast. Now, let's take a gander here at the Sky Race trophy. This is a pretty cool deal because if we did like a traditional white cloud, like you see over here on Hurricane Jetpack, that would take away from the aesthetics of the trophy. And what they did with the clear, they give off, you know, actually a little bit better detail, in all honesty. But it just looks better. It's still like, oh, that's a cloud, you know, something's billowing over there around the base of the trophy, but it just looks good. There seems to be there's little traces of metallic through this. It's kind of like what we saw in some of the Light Element characters last time, I believe, in their Traptanium weapons. Nightlight, we're talking about you, I believe. But it looks pretty dadgum neat for what it's worth. Again, the detail on Wolfgang is actually pretty good too. That's not the easiest thing to see there, but I think that's a pretty good angle. I mean, you can definitely tell it's a wolf. It's kind of got that, shall we say, sheepish grin. And it's a cool deal. Again, I'm the guy that at E3, I was like, we need a figure for Wolfgang. You know, everyone's talking about Pinata, but where's my Wolfgang figure, by gosh? And that went nowhere, apparently. But hey, this is fairly close. It's like halfway there. We had the trap last time, and now we kind of got like the trophy. So now they just need to make the Wolfgang figure for us, and I'll be happy. A couple other villains as well I'd like to have, but you get the gist of it. I think this trophy may be taller than the others. Now let's grab the Chaos trophy here for comparison. It's got the ultimate Chaos trap in it from the previous Dark Edition, so we'll set that down. And here they are, base to base, again, just for comparison, kind of mirror of mystery type stuff. And I guess they're roughly the same height, but again, I think what happens here, this is sort of more of like a bullet bill cannon look, and this is kind of more of like a rifled barrel. It's a little bit, I guess, slimmer and longer. And then, of course, being slimmer gives it even more of an illusion of being longer. So kind of a tie-in there, if you will. And we'll set that back into place. And there's really not much else to look at there, but it's a pretty cool deal. Again, it will look really neat if you display your vehicles or your favorite Skylanders. Maybe even just the race packs. Again, right now, the only other legendary we've got is Hurricane Jetpack. Eventually, we'll have Bone Bash Roller Brawl. So, coming in now, we want to take a look at this bad boy, and this is, of course, the Legendary Sunrunner. We don't have standard Sunrunner to compare it to or anything, but it's pretty menacing, you have to say. Sky Slicer looks pretty cool, very futuristic. The Jetstream, I'm personally kind of a fan of, just because I like Jetpack, and it's sort of, you know, it's got like the beak on it, you know, if you will. It looks like a bird. Stealth Stinger, I've still not really played much with that, but it looks pretty cool. The main thing I like there is sort of the helm. It gives the illusion of a person. And of course, standard and dark Clown Cruiser, which is 100% win. But right here, it's very, very menacing. It's like you're flying daggers or something. In fact, I feel like we could throw this and probably do some damage if we ever have to. If someone raids your Skylander collection and you can only grab one thing to attack them with, you might think Ninjini because of the reach. You might think of your heaviest Skylander or something along those lines. Me, I'm going for the Sunrunner here. We're just going to dagger it, right? Stop those eBay trolls from taking what they don't need. But right here, Pretty cool design. Down here on the bottom you got the light element logo. That appears to be some sort of, I guess, a single fire cannon type deal. Is that a scuff in my paint? I believe that is, man. So that's gone through down to like a primer coat or the gold paint or something. That's unfortunate, but oh well. No one will really see that aside from the portal, and it just wants the vehicle on it in the first place. So, again, these are reminiscent big time of like Traptanium weapons. This actually kind of looks like some sort of like a robotic tiki mask. You know, when you hold it at this angle, that's totally not how it's supposed to be held, but you know, I could like insert some like robotic voice right now and just kind of bob that around and give the illusion it was talking. So I don't know, that was probably an intentional design aesthetic, not 100% sure, but it looks pretty cool. We've got 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 10. So 10 points. Is that how many we have on the light element logo? I think it might be 11 on that. Did I miss something? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. Huh. Well, anyway, you can play around with that stuff. Now, something that kind of bothers me, there's the two things here. I have no idea what they are. And then there's one over here, so they might be like unique attacks or something. But pretty good aircraft rendering here. You've kind of got like the rivets coming in on the plating around the cockpit glass. You've got it here on the blue sheeting as well. The cockpit itself, very streamlined, very futuristic looking, especially with the kick up at the back and then kind of the taper down. Gives off some extra space. In fact, I'm trying to figure this out. Alright, so you've got a gold seat inside, right? I think you can see that in the steering wheel, so that's pretty cool. But on this back side, I almost think, I don't know if that's another seat or if it's like a slide. If this were to like, I don't know if he crash lands a lot or something. But it gives off that vibe to me, that it's like some sort of an evacuation pod, or maybe you can slide down here and shoot off. I don't know, and I guess we should maybe investigate that. So bear with me here. I've got to turn to the vehicles, and it would be categorized with the sky stuff. There it is. We got to go with the Sunrunner here. But let's bring this... Gotta switch hands. Hope I don't stab myself. Alright, so we kind of did that. Now let's start here. If you're using the Sunrunner, if you're used to the zippier air element vehicles, your first trip in Sunrunner will come as a shock. It's easily the slowest sky vehicle. Well, that's not cool. I thought it looks like it'd be one of the fastest. Although Sky Slicer gives off a good speed vibe to it. Sunrunner requires solid planning if you want to ride it to victory. Light matter laser can be a devastating weapon. Hold down attack 1 to track whatever it hits, although it drains your ammo bar quickly. Satellite support is invaluable in debris-filled areas. If you lose track of the other racers, use satellite support to bring up their health bars, which appear whether you can see the racers or not. Use the health bars to prioritize your targets. That's kind of sneaky. I like that. Now, if somehow you're racing against Sunrunner, one of your buddies has got this pack and you don't, and he's slaughtering you because he's using those, light matter lasers and the mapping with health bar status, here's what you want to do. Speed is obviously Sunrunner's primary weakness. Your concern isn't passing Sunrunner, it's maintaining your lead. Fortunately, light matter laser announces its presence plainly. It's hard to miss a ruby red beam, whether it strikes you or not. As soon as you notice it, dive or climb to throw off Sunrunner's aim. So in other words, do a barrel roll, up, down, left, or right. So coming in here, let's take a look at the attacks. Light matter laser, which I assume would be that port down here. Tap attack 1 to fire a laser as hot as 1,000 suns. That's pretty cool. And then satellite support, tap attack 3 to perform a laser sweep. That reveals the health of all enemies. So we'll have to see how that goes out. Now, we'll come in here. I want you to take a look at this for yourself. There are no numbers here, but armor, top speed, acceleration. Acceleration looks pretty good. I guess top speed kind of kills that, though. Handling and weight. Pay attention to top speed and acceleration. And now we're going to slide over here to the Stealth Stinger, and you kind of see the discrepancies there. Really nothing on it stands out. I guess it's a little heavier perhaps, but the armor doesn't seem to be If it's any, it's very marginally higher than the Stealth Stinger. But right here, speaking of mods, you got performance mods. Star Crystals, plus 150 armor, plus 5 handling. Laser Array, plus 10 acceleration. Planetoid Mover, that's just a cool name. Plus 300 armor, plus 5 handling. And then you've got Meteor Crux, which you get when you're supercharged, plus 10 top speed. Coming over here to our specialty mods, you got the Shuttle Dome, plus 150 armor, plus 5 acceleration. Refracting Prism, plus 10 acceleration, plus 5 handling, minus 5 weight. And then we've got the Solar Flare Blocker for plus 300 armor. And then down here, the Crystalline Cover, which again, that's going to be something you get when you're supercharged. Plus 10 top speed, plus 10 acceleration, minus 10 weight. The horns, for those of you that care, you got the Noisy Nebulizer, Anti-Grav Vibration. That's kind of a cool phrasing, like anti-grav. It just flows off the tongue nice. The Little Bang, and then you've got Interface Blips, which I guess ties in kind of with the radar theme. So that is the Sunrunner. Once again, it's a sky vehicle hailing from the light element. This is the Sky Race Action Pack. It's available here in the U.S. as a Toys R Us exclusive, as all Legendaries have been. I'm excited to see this guy in-game. I'm excited to see the vehicle in-game. The strategy guide really kind of makes the vehicle sound lame. So I'm riding it on the aesthetic high, which I just think it looks cool. So it might suck, it might be horrible, but it's going to look good. And sometimes the strategy guide's not necessarily the best indicator of what to expect. So I've got high hopes for this thing. I think it's going to be fun. And if we like it, we can score a regular Sunrunner too. So I think this is our only legendary vehicle, is it not? And again, the cool thing, we've got Legendary Astroblast Pilot. Poor Legendary Hurricane Jetvac and Roller Brawl, they don't have standalone legendary vehicles, which I guess that's good for us in our pocketbooks. But let me come in here and see if we can find this. Da-da-dun. Yeah, we've got the 2 Nitros, Dark Hot Streak. Yeah, 1 legendary vehicle, so this is it. If you're a fan of legendary stuff and you want a legendary vehicle, this is your only one. Come and get it while you can. Legendary Skylanders, I believe, is just literally those 3. So we've got Legendary Hurricane Jetvac, we got Legendary Astroblast, and I hate to say it, but I'm afraid that Legendary Bone Bash Roller Brawl, who I really wanted before Halloween, really bad. I'm a big Roller Brawl fan. I believe she will only be available maybe in the spring. Don't hold me to that, but I don't know if they're going to come in and have all 3 race action packs, available, or if they're going to have all of the legendaries available. Usually they have like the springtime legendary, and so with there only being 3, we've got 2. Yeah, maybe we'll get her regular form before that would be okay with me, but I got her Soul Gem the other night. I always check the previews, and she looks awesome. So that said, we've got Astroblast now. Again, I've been really wanting to play as this guy. We've got his legendary version, so when I introduce him, I won't have like the base stats. I'm going to go ahead and introduce him just because I don't know when regular Astroblast is going to hit at all. So we'll kind of try to piece all that together, but I'm excited to see how he plays. Again, Ethan, I believe a couple other people said, hey, you're going to like this guy. So people that have watched me a long time and keep up with the videos, they kind of know what I'm going to like, what they think I'll kind of be disappointed in, etc. So I personally had high hopes for the guy anyway, so now what they said is just kind of pushing the boundaries that much farther. But excited to see him in game. We'll get him introduced ASAP here. Well, I guess if it wasn't storming, we would. As is, we'll maybe do some unboxings where a computer won't get fried. But Legendary Sunrunner, Legendary Astroblast, Light Element combo will supercharge these bad boys. Hurricane Jetvac, I gotta say, his legendary form doesn't look bad paired with this, really. I've been kind of analyzing that secretly in the back of my mind when I should be focusing on what we're talking about, but that's a pretty sweet combo right there, right? So that's a cool deal. Now, just because we can, and because most people won't take the time to do this for you, here the legendaries are side by side. They actually look pretty good together, I've got to say. Sort of like your established veteran and sort of like our newcomer here from the light element. So, good stuff in my opinion. But again, I try to kind of theme the background for you every once in a while. And I don't know. I thought it was kind of a nice touch. But main thing here, we got this thing from Toys R Us's free shipping. That's our biggest accomplishment, really. Forget the unboxing it or the details or anything else. It's just this thing showed up on Back to the Future Day in the middle of a massive thunderstorm. So that said, I'm going to quit rambling here. I might risk this. I might try to introduce him with the lightning still pretty bad. But anyway, as always, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts. I assume most of you that want this guy already have him. So unless you did the shipping, in that case, it might be coming. It's arrived in Texas. Everyone on the West Coast, get ready. Any day now it could show up. But let me know, what are your thoughts on Legendary Astroblast? Do you like the figure, the aesthetics of it? If you've played him in game, do you kind of agree with Ethan? He's slow, but he's awesome. Again, I'll have to kind of hold off. He was pretty high on my anticipated list. And again, I wish we had his regular version to compare and contrast immediately, but I guess it'll give us something to look forward to. Does not look horrible, but again, I'd like to kind of have his regular version. I don't read his upgrades. I haven't done any of that stuff. That's why I'm kind of clueless on how to explain all this. But I think it looks like it's going to be pretty awesome. So that said, thanks so much for watching. oneofwisdom.com is my personal site. You can follow me on Twitch, follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook, circle me on Google+, whichever you prefer. The Yarn Yoshis are there to remind you to subscribe if you have not, by the way. You can't argue with Yarn Yoshi. It's a proven fact. That said, SkylanderClub.com. Check it out. If you like what you see there, sign up. We'd love to have you join us on the forum. But for myself, Astroblast, the Sunrunner, Legendary Awesomeness, Legendary Hurricane Jetvac, the rest of the air element, the sweet Wolfgang trophy that we can now have here as a display piece, and unlock new tracks and villains. Thanks so much for watching. We will catch you back here for more Skylanders SuperChargers unboxings.